Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our countdown of Ben Roethlisberger's 100 greatest touchdown passes. Now, last week we covered touchdowns 75 through 51 on our list. In this installment, we're covering touchdowns 50 through 26. And last week, I also mentioned that the quality of Ben Roethlisberger's passing touchdowns simply gets better and better with every play we cover. And in considering that Ben's thrown for well over 400 touchdowns in his career, both regular and postseason, it's safe to say that I left quite a few great plays off this list. And also, in considering and critiquing every single one of these plays, it has me wondering, the old adage that is oft repeated in NFL history, if records are made to be broken, then who is the next Steelers quarterback in team history to shatter Ben's records? Regardless of how the Steelers approach this moment in team history, it may be a while before the Steelers find their next franchise quarterback. Fans may have to brace themselves for the potential of a decade or two before the Steelers find their guy. Here's hoping we don't have to wait too long, but there's something to be said of the patience of Steelers Nation. We've been through this before. The 80s and 90s were resplendent with horrid quarterback play until Ben rolled around in 2004. I'm talking signal callers like Bubby Brister and Mike Tomczak behind center, as well as the horribly inconsistent Cordell Stewart. It's a testament not only to the patience of Steelers fans, but a sign that quarterback talent has truly evolved in our lifetimes watching the game. Now you don't have to look very far at all to find elite quarterback play. It seems just about every division in the NFL has one, maybe two elite quarterbacks dominating their division. Currently, the AFC North has former MVP Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, who just took the Bengals to the Super Bowl. And though I'd really like to say the jury's still out on Baker Mayfield in Cleveland, 4 years is more than enough sample size to know whether you've got your guy. And the Browns probably don't have their guy. So the Steelers have to hope they can keep pace with Jackson and Burrow if they want any hope at all of winning the division this coming year or any year after that. Whether it's Rudolph, Haskins, a rookie, or a veteran free agent, I'm thinking the Steelers will have to rely on a strong, dominating defense and running game if they have any hope of staying competitive in the interim. There's no doubt that Big Ben laid the blueprint for who the Steelers want in their future franchise quarterback. He's got to be tough, physical, obviously big, and have a huge, strong arm to take advantage of the weapons that the Steelers have. Now, whoever gets the call to take the reins from Roethlisberger in this year or the coming years, well, he'd be well served to watch some of these plays I'm about to count down on our list. These are plays full of scramble drills and long throws and throws into tight windows. Throws that you've got to make to be an elite NFL quarterback. We begin our countdown with a touchdown pass in a game that would have been the best game in many quarterbacks' careers. Instead, this game ranks possibly 4th or 5th best in Ben's career. I'm speaking of the Monday Night Massacre against Baltimore in 2007, Brian Billick's last year as Ravens head coach. And the pass that comes in at number 50 is a 30-yarder to Nate Washington that comes off a brief rollout under pressure from Ben. It was a night Ben had not just one, not two, not three, not even four, but 5 touchdown passes. It was the biggest highlight of a season in which Ben set new career benchmarks. This game would have likely been remembered best as Ben's shining moment if not for one James Harrison, terrorizing Jonathan Ogden and the entire Ravens offensive line. It was a performance Harrison will look back on fondly, saying he could do no wrong that night. But truly, Big Ben shared the spotlight quite comfortably with the dominating defense on that Monday night in 2007. The next couple plays involve some sticky hands and a little trickeration, as Steelers broadcaster Craig Wolfley would say. Number 49 is a trick play pass to Cedric Wilson that blew the game open versus the Bengals in the 2005 AFC wildcard game. After a direct snap to Antoine Randall, the former Indiana quarterback darts right and then throws back to Big Ben, who sets his feet and launches a rocket to Wilson, who scores an easy, though very elaborate, 6 points. At 48, we see some sticky hands and nice concentration on a nimble and acrobatic play by Antonio Brown to defeat the Chiefs in Kansas City in 2017. Though it was the final year before Patrick Mahomes would set the NFL on fire, the Chiefs were still a big-time contender in the AFC behind Alex Smith at quarterback, and the Steelers needed every play in the playbook to walk away victorious. At 47, we have the final connection from Big Ben to Le'Veon Bell, arguably the most talented running back and best receiving option Ben's ever had coming out of the backfield. Here, in the loss to the Jaguars in the AFC divisional round of the 2017 season, Bell streaks down the right sideline and barely beats the man in coverage. Though the game is full of what-ifs in retrospect, this play represents the full skill set Bell brought to the table as a Steeler. No matter what formation he was in, the defense had to account for Bell as an extra receiving option. It's something the Steelers certainly used to their advantage while he was here. As we continue onward, we have another appearance by Cedric Wilson at number 45, this time making All-Pro cornerback Champ Bailey look silly on a throw from Ben towards the back corner of the end zone in the 2005 AFC Championship game at Denver. At 44, Nate Washington offers this great insight into the 6 points he scored off a long throw by Ben versus the reigning Super Bowl champion Giants in 2008. And at 43, in a game in which he copied his stat line from Super Bowl 43, Santonio Holmes opened up the 2009 season against the Tennessee Titans with an impressive grab in the end zone.
At 40, we have the second-to-last touchdown pass Ben threw in his rookie year, 2004, a catch-and-run by Hines Ward versus the Patriots in that year's AFC Championship game. This is followed in short order by Ben's second-ever touchdown pass to Hines Ward in a sloppy affair down in Miami in Week 3 that same year. Here, Ben rolls out of the pocket and finds Ward, who makes the catch in the end zone before falling out of bounds.
The next few plays are dominated by some of the newer faces and weapons Ben had later in his career. There's Chase Claypool's first touchdown versus the Broncos in 2020, as well as a crucial grab by Pat Freiermuth versus the Browns earlier this past season in Cleveland. And speaking of rookie sensations, we have a 97-yarder to Juju Smith-Schuster, who hauls in the pass before outrunning 2 Lions defenders to the end zone back in 2017. The play marked the latest in an ongoing tradition for Juju, who would become well known for his attention-grabbing touchdown celebrations. After the score, Juju headed to the sidelines to lock down a stationary bike, alluding to the fact his own bike was stolen earlier in the week. It was around this time that Juju sought to convince Ben to partake in a little of the post-touchdown frivolity, an offer Ben never accepted. Further down the list, we have a pass to Jericho Cotchery in Denver in the 2011 AFC wildcard game versus the Broncos, aka the Tebow game. In addition, we have Antonio Brown making the most of a reception after his old nemesis Jalen Ramsey loses Mr. Big Chest in coverage in Jacksonville. Immediately after, at 31, we take a trip back to Ben's rookie year with a touchdown pass to Plaxico Burress in Dallas. Similar to the connection to Ward in Miami earlier in 2004, this pass comes off a roll-up by Ben, who finds his receiver just before Burress winds up out of bounds. A year later, in 2005, we have a pass to Hines Ward versus the Patriots at Heinz Field, an 85-yarder that stood as Ben's longest throw for a score for nearly 6 years before being eclipsed in 2011. After 18 years in the league, Ben's become known for the long ball, having thrown 2 touchdowns of 97 yards, one being the aforementioned throw to Juju in Detroit in 2017, as well as number 26 on our list, a touchdown in Denver a year later in 2018 to, you guessed it, Juju Smith-Schuster. This one scores a tad higher on our list for a couple reasons. One, the throw traveled a bit longer through the air and was fired off by Ben while under pressure in the end zone. It was an amazing swing and points scored from a possible safety and 2 points scored for Denver, and 7 points by number 7 for Pittsburgh.
And again, that does it for part 3 of our countdown of Ben Roethlisberger's 100 best touchdown passes. I want to thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to tune in next week when we count down numbers 25 all the way down to number 1.